Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the FUTBIN podcast. Once again, joined by myself, Richard Buckley, and my assistant manager back in the helm, Mr. Matt Foot Trading. We've got a very, very special guest this week. For the first time, I want to say a full-time pro player. We did have Ryan Pessoa on the show, but he's retired. I'm going to say it. He plays, but he doesn't play. This week, we've got a full-time pro and a content creator nearing 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. You may know him as RedLac. He's joined me in the commentary booth as Alfie, but we'll call him RedLac this week. Welcome to the show. RB Leipzig representative as well. It's an absolute pleasure to have you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to talk about all sorts of topics. And yeah, just get straight into it.
Matt, how have we been this last week? Happy with the extra time pod that we did as well for the FUTBIN rating?
Oh yes, it seems to have gone down quite well. I've had a few people DMing me that was trying to understand why Pina wasn't number one. So we've sent them over there, and they've come back with some good feedback, Rich. So lots still to come on the FUTBIN rating side of things. We might discuss a little bit about it today. We'll see, but good stuff.
Well, let me tell you what's coming up on today's episode. We're going to be talking RedLac's team and tactics, what he's using, and why is the 4-5-1 taking over competitive FC, and why maybe should you be trying it if you are struggling at home with your gameplay. We put a questionnaire out to the listeners on X, or Twitter, as it will always be, and we asked, what are you struggling with FC 26? We've got a pro player. We've got one of the top 0.01 percentile players of the game. So we're going to be answering your questions on how to improve at FC 26. We've also got the typical promo chat, our thoughts, our feelings on what can only be described, in my opinion, as quite a lackluster promo. We'll get the opinion of the guys and any market tips or SBCs you should be avoiding. And, as always, another unbelievable must-watch episode of Hot or Not coming your way, with RedLac taking a seat, 5 SBCs, and he will tell us, should you complete or should you not? But let's get started, as we always do, with a little bit of team review. It feels like this is the only place to start when we have a guest on. RedLac, talk me through what we're using. Why are we using the 4-5-1? And sort of from goalkeeper all the way up to striker, take your time and tell us what each player is giving you and why are they in there.
Yeah, so I've gone for a 4-5-1 formation. I was originally in the 4-4-1-1, but watching Stingray in the E-Euros and getting told by my coaches as well, I actually played a 4-1-4-1, which is sort of similar, but then it's not, because the reason the 4-5-1 is so good is because the middle centre mid needs to be on box-to-box. And to make that even better, you need them on box-to-box plus or plus-plus. So Ji-sung Park does have box-to-box plus, and he's really effective in this team. Now, the team selection is sort of hindered a bit because of the restrictions, as you'll know, Rich, in place, where you can only use anyone below 92, so no 92 players allowed in the team. You need 7 rare goals in the squad, in the 18, and then 1 icon, 1 hero for 88 to 91. So, starting off in goal, we have an SBC. Speaking of SBCs, you must do this player. Now, he might have expired, but 44,000 coins for Nick Pope. He was really good, cheap, and fits the restrictions. So yeah, can't complain about him at all. Right back, this is a good talking point. I've got Bar Evolution. Now, the reason why this Bar is so good is because he's like 650 coins, and there's no, this Evo doesn't give him playstyles. It's his gold card that has all the good playstyles. He's got Ping Pass, he's got Bruiser, he's got Anticipate, he's got Relentless, he's got everything. So we put him in Ironclad Instincts ×2, which you don't actually need to do, then Save by the Bell. Then I put him in Footwork, whatever that one's called, for the 4-star skills, and the Long Ball Plus on him as well. So that was really effective, and he was actually really good. I'm not going to sort of change the right back. He was really good this week. Yeah. So then we have centre-backs. We have 2 Brazilians, 1 on loan for me, which was lucky, Eder Militao, Intercept Plus, and then on the left, we have Marquinhos, also Intercept Plus. Now, if you have a cheap team, maybe a 100k team, Marquinhos has to play. He's really good. Would I say Militao's better? Maybe not. In practice, I thought so, but in the real game, probably not because of no Anticipate. The thing is, Rich, I started this tournament with an Evolution Isaac Toure. Now, I ended up kicking him out after 2 games because even though he's 6'9" with gold Anticipate, Intercept, Block, Jockey, it's just like I'm defending different. I'm pulling him out of position, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, to finish off the defense, another budget player. It's Gold Nuno Mendes. With the ping pass, I think this is what makes him so good, and the anticipate as well. I tried Carreras, I've tried Theo Hernandez. At right back, I've tried all sorts of players as well, and I found out that I want ping pass on the fullback so I can sort of transition from fullback to midfield without any issues. We don't want the ball bobbling about. We want the first touch to be good with the centre mid. So yeah, that's the full defence completed. And it's quite cheap, if you ask me. I think that's decent.
Yeah, other than the 750k for Eder Militao.
Yeah, but you can get the gold card if you'd like the gold card. He's not just as good, but he is good. So
we'll save our questions, I think, Matt, until we finish the full team, because I've got a couple of questions straight away. Let's move into the midfield. You're actually using a player that last week's guest was also using his team, which shows that Anthony Day does no ball, because he was also using Ji-sung Park in the middle of the pitch.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he does know ball then, because I didn't even get him in until maybe Thursday night when I was watching Stingray. And it's like, he's just so good because the runs back and forward, obviously he doesn't have 99 pace anymore, but that doesn't really matter. It's the ping pass that you want. And the way the formation works is, as I mentioned, from the fullback, let's say I've got the ball with Bar, we give it to Busquets. We use tiki-taka plus for a first-time pass into Ji-sung Park. Then you can sort of take a touch, chill out, play a lock, pull a right mid or left mid inside, or just grab Pina. We'll come on to that later about some attacking tips against a defensive low block. But yeah, tiki-taka plus on Busquets on the right centre mid, Ji-sung Park in the middle, and then we have Zico on the left. Now, one thing I would say is I actually think Bonmati might have been a better fit than Zico. I'm not sure, just because of the ping pass that I talked about, but also technical dribbling, all sorts like that. But yeah, midfield three is strong. And then left mid, right mid, this is where there's a lot more budget coming in. We have Mbappe Gold. Now, I actually wish I had that Marseille Evo. Like, he was really good. He's got finesse, he's got ping. He's basically Ousmane Dembele on the left side of the pitch. But speaking of Ousmane Dembele, 4.2 million coins I paid for him. 5-star, 5-star, inside forward plus at right mid. He's got finesse, he's got pinged. And like I said, the reason he's so good is because like the gold item doesn't have right mid, which was a big issue. This one does. Right mid, inside forward plus plus. That's why he was straight in the team. And when I used Ousmane Dembele, I realised how bad Nico Williams was, because he was really good for me, Nico Williams. But then like using Dembele just made me think, wow, he's so much quicker, he's more clinical, he scores every chance. And then you don't really need to talk about the striker. We've got Pina up front. 1.4 million coins now. She's risen a bit. But yeah, not much pace on the actual item. But with a Hunter, she feels fast as ever. Really good finishing. It's the low driven. In a pro qualifier, you don't get many chances. So when you get that yard of space, the shot across goal, or the Trivela near post, she's got game changer as well. She's also got finesse silver. Amazing item in FC22. I don't see when she gets booted out of the team. That's what I don't get. Like, she's so good that it's like, surely she's going to get kicked out soon. Doesn't. She's too good.
If low driven ever gets nerfed, maybe.
Yeah.
But Matt, do you have any quick takeaways from the 11 that's on the pitch?
The main one, I mean, you touched on it very, very briefly with the centre backs and sort of that playstyle plus preference, intercept over anticipate. I think that's one thing to touch on, because I know a lot of people, there's been some discussions I've seen floating around X at the moment, sort of that Marquinhos versus Saliba debate seems to be one that's going on quite a lot. Just talk us through that playstyle preference a little bit.
Yeah. At the start of the game, you're completely right. It was both centre backs in the pro team with Saliba and Marquinhos, but then it's like, as it's evolving. Back in 2021, the meta for a centre-back was to have a full-back there. Someone who's 5'8", 5'10", and height didn't matter because crossing wasn't really that effective. Whereas, like, the last few years, heading has been so good and you need a tall centre-back. I actually think over the last month, we've sort of realised you don't need someone like Saliba because they're clunky. Even though Anticipate's really good, Intercept is more important because of the double triangle through passes that everyone's playing in the pro scene. But the thing is like, I would say, if I did do the Ibanez Evo, he would have been in over Militao, over Marquinhos, I think. And I would have started with Militao. But yeah, if we're doing just straight playstyle for playstyle, I think Intercept is better now. Maybe if we've seen a patch towards the double Y through passes, double triangle through passes, then Anticipate would be back in. I don't know, like, I've always been a player where I need Intercept on a player, on a centre-back, on a right-back. And like, if I don't, I feel it. I didn't really feel it until this qualifier where I'm missing tackles. Like, I feel like I'm just blaming Militao in hindsight, whereas live in the real gameplay, he was really good. So I don't think you need Anticipate but you sort of need intercept. And to be honest, I don't think the silver intercept is that good. I think the gold one is like where you'll see an animation where you'll just pluck it out of the sky like that. Like that's the one that I think is the best.
It's also really interesting as well. Obviously, this year they said, I think it was one of the first pitch notes when the game was sort of being teased and launched. If you've got over 85 stand tackle, you get different tackle animations as well. So I think there's a lot of things that we don't quite understand, like how much effectiveness is that combined with a silver anticipate compared to if you've got a gold anticipate but you've got 84 stand tackle. Like it's all very ambiguous, and I think for a lot of people it's what you just feel best. Like what is it that you like the most? Let's have a quick look at the tactics. I don't think there's anything too sort of strange. The only thing that I think is quite interesting, the striker, false 9.
Yeah, it's to do with sort of when you've, as I said, got the ball with the fullback, you've given it to the centre mid now. You want Pina to be sort of like showing and ready to receive the ball, because a lot of pros, they'll grab the centre back, they'll run and try and intercept the passing lane. And in a pro game, you'll feel that. If you lose the ball 2 or 3 times in a row, you'll feel like, you're getting destroyed. So if you can build up and then Pina's ready to get the ball, she's 5 yards in space, there's no one near her, it's a lot safer. However, like, I'm not saying it's better than advanced forward. I would just recommend trying it and seeing if you like it. And everyone at home, if you want to try false 9, I'm sure you would like it, because in a foot champs game, no one's grabbing their centre back to sort of mark the pass. They're just going to be running around the centre mid. You'll have a free pass. But the one thing you need to do before you pass to Pina is trigger a winger, preferably Dembele or Mbappe, and then give it to the centre mid. It's a whole pattern of play, Rich, as you'll know. It's like right back into the right centre mid, trigger the right mid, into the centre mid now, straight to the striker, and then you should have a sort of angle between their left back and their left centre back. Through the middle of that, you can play a through pass, and then you're going to have a really good attack from there.
If you do want to try this, there's a code for people at home as well. I think, what is it about the 4-5-1 that seems to have taken over this year? I don't think that's the formation you're using, is it, Matt?
I float between 4-5-1 and a 4-3-1-2. So yeah, okay. It's that three-man midfield, 3 centre mids. That's pretty consistent for me. But yeah, those sort of wingers, and just purely depends on whether I want to play a little bit more tiki-taka through the middle. Again, in champs, sometimes I am just switching mid-game to a 4-5-1 to get those runs in between the fullbacks and the centre-backs with those wingers. But,
what is it about this? Why the 4-5-1? Because I think in previous years we've seen a couple of people use it more defensively. I seem to remember Nicholas, who's one of the best players ever. He used to go to a 4-5-1 to sort of see out games. Is it that defensive formation this year? Like, if people are wanting to try and defend better, should they go into a 4-5-1, or is it just the general style of play? You start with a 4-5-1 and you finish with a 4-5-1.
Yeah, it's just the all-round play. Like, we've seen Johnny use it, for example, for the last 2-3 years in instances, but it's to do with the trigger in the runners and, like, getting Jason Park on a forward run, then you can take your time, go out wide, bring it to the striker, and then, like, the momentum of the run from Jason Park is, like, so strong that you can't even really track it. So you have to track it really early, and if you do track it, then the winger has more space to run into. It's like a lose-lose situation for the defender, and yeah, a lot of people in 4-5-1. Me personally, like, I don't think I'm playing that well pro-wise. Like, I think there's another formation for me out there, which we'll find in a few months. Every single year, a few months in, there's a meta change. The formations will change to, you should start using 5 back now or 3 back, and then towards the end, it's 4-4-2. So I'm sort of waiting for that change for me personally, but right now, like, the best formation is 4-5-1. I'm just not the best in it, if that makes sense.
On the topic quickly of just formations, do you think it'll always be formations with wingers?
This season, yes, I think, because it's how sort of, overpowered incisive is and how good it is. If you get someone triggered, if you've got tiki-taka plus, if you've got incisive, like, you can find the passes when they're not really on. And then the thing is about the build-up in FC26 is, like, once you get past their backline, you can then play for that reset that everyone goes on about. So, yeah, I think that's why it's so important to have incisive, I guess.
We put a questionnaire out a few hours ago before we started recording, asking people what are they struggling with in FC26. We've not really done this yet on the pod, where we've asked for questions for a guest, or really talked too much gameplay. We've talked a lot of content and evos and SBCs, but I think with as we said at the start of the show, I think lack of outstanding content, I think is the best way to put it this week, Matt. This seems the perfect episode to sort of ask a gameplay expert some gameplay advice. One of the big things that when we put that tweet up was how to get better at defending. What should I be doing in defending? When should I defend manually, and when should I let the AI defend for me? Without going sort of too in depth, what sort of suggestions would you say, RedLac?
You sort of want to keep your team in shape. Like, if you're playing a FUT Champions game or a Division Rivals game, it's not going to be someone who's playing really slow and building their attacks perfectly. You're probably going to have an end-to-end game. If someone's running at your team, this is what I fall victim of. Don't just grab the player in between the ball and the goal, which is the centre-back. Because once you fly the centre-back out, there's a space, and then they'll just go and score a goal. So what you need to do is chase them from behind, and then if there's like a gap, for example, their right midfielder's on inside forward and has come inside, the left back, you need to just bring them in. You basically need to just stay with any runners that are sort of infiltrating your defence, but the ball carrier, their player that's running with the ball, just chase them from behind, maybe switch off to the centre-back, hold second man press. Like, you don't want to rush a defender out, because you're going to concede, basically. I do it as well.
Okay. Interesting. Another one as well that we saw from a lot of people who are defending deep and they've got that formation, they're in that shape. We've just told them how to defend. How do you break that down? What is some of the best ways to try that? Because in previous years, we'd have a Trivella from the edge of the box or a high percentage green time finesse shot, which would trouble the goalkeeper. What are we doing this year? How can we break down that defence?
Yeah, no long shots are going to work anymore. So what we're going to do is, this one's a bit more in-depth, but I can't help but be in-depth. You have to play a lock and drag a right mid or a left mid inside the fullback, because then you have the space between their centre-back and their fullback. If they have fullback balance, or if they've just lost the ball in their own half, the space will be even bigger than if they lose the ball in your half. So you want to attack quick, think quickly, grab anyone. You can play a lock, drag the winger in. If the winger's not on, drag the striker. You can always do a 1-2, take your time, push their team back, and then if you can't do the player lock, basically, you want to go down the line, stop, wait for their defence to drop in towards their own goal, come back towards the edge of the box, and this is where Tiki Taka Plus comes in. Hit the right centre mid, into the centre mid. Is there any pass on forward? Can you hit Pina? Can you hit Mbappe? If you can, you're probably going to score. If not, just take your time. You don't need to rush, and eventually there'll be some sort of window for a finesse shot or just a low driven into the corner.
Interesting. Matt, have you got any questions that we've seen?
On that second one, because I know I sort of do that, sort of go down the wing, wait for them to drop back, try and play it into the middle. I've started adopting a few more player locks into my game, probably more so on like the counter attacks where you want that run inside from a winger, or you want your striker to take a slightly different angle. For me personally, if I'm doing that, go down the wing, cut it back into the middle once the defensive drop back, I still fall victim a little bit, and I'm sure some people do, to that grab centre mids, mark passing lanes, don't press. Because after a while, that defence will kind of shift back up a little bit, and you're kind of back to square one. So, like, how would you best counter that more typical situation of you're in front of the box, say you've gone and reset it a few times, you're in front of the box, players aren't making many runs, not maybe that good at player locking, and your opponent's just grabbing centre mids. What would you do in that situation?
Yeah, I think you have to sort of stand still and dribble to bait rather than like just trying to score. Like, if they're marking the pass, you can sort of dribble to the left, then stop, and then they'll try and mark that. Then maybe they'll switch player. Then the lane's open. It's like, I don't think resetting it is that. For me personally, I'm not that good at it. Like, for a pro standard, I'm good at it in sort of champs and stuff. But the whole idea behind resetting it is the rolls have to be good. If your player rolls are right, you should be able to turn, hit the right centre mid, and then have a deeper centre mid who will then be able to take a touch, find a pass. And that's why tiki-taka is so important, because you can move it quickly from the right mid to the centre mid to the centre mid into like an attacker.
Mm.
It's just the left-stick dribbling to sort of shift and change the angle and then find the pass, I guess.
Mm. I think one more thing as well, I saw a lot of people, when we put that post up, asking about sort of how do you stay like focused in a game. I think that's one big thing this year. I found it, especially when playing champs or rivals. If I would say I'm a good player, but I'm not great in any stretch of the imagination when we're talking about like the best players. If I'm not 100% focused and concentrating on the game can get away from you so quickly. I think this year, more than any other year, you actually have to concentrate on what you're doing. I think in previous games, you could sort of autopilot and you could sort of just play the patterns and play the game as you just always played it. This year, it feels that you really have to concentrate, because if not, you can concede 3 goals in 10, 15 minutes. Have you got any tips sort of for people if they are playing champs and they're sort of in that stretch of games? Like, what would you suggest mentally, I'm going to say, for people to do? Like, is taking a break important? Is sort of pausing the game? I know there's a huge thing at the moment about people pausing the game. Like, you pause the game, you're toxic. Like, how is that a thing? And I'll be honest, I see a lot of streamers saying it. I'm not going to name names, but if you think, and I'm very, very passionate on this, if you think that pausing the game is toxic, the game's gone.
They're stream snipers, Rich. That's
the
what they
game's gone. Because I pause the game almost every game, whether that's for me to go, oh, I've got a WhatsApp, let me reply to this. Oh, I need to go and do something quickly. Let me go and take 30 seconds and go and do this. Let me have a drink. Like,
But what is the pause though? Like, are you like 4-1 down 86th minute? Because then
no,
like
I'll pause it at any time during the game. I'm not pausing it at like 85 minutes. I'll just play the game out. But if it's 30 minutes into the game and my Ring doorbell's just gone off, I'm pausing the game, I'm booting it out of play, I'm running downstairs, getting the door, and people think I'm doing that for a reason. Like, I'm toxic by it. It's just not the thing. And there's a real big thing at the moment that if you pause the game at any point during the game, you're a toxic player. Sorry, I've got
not
subs
heard
to bring on.
anything about this.
I've got subs to bring on.
Yeah, but okay,
What do you sort of think in the mentally, like if you're going over a champs run, it's Monday 9 p.m. and you've got 15 games to play, how would you sort of advise people to help get through that?
I think if it's that late, you don't sort of have enough time to be dilly-dallying. But the biggest issue for me is I lose a lot more than the viewers will think in Foot Champs. I get 15 probably 1 out of 2, twice a month. Okay. But because like when there's 15 games to play, the whole point of this 2.5 hour, 3 hour session is that I'm going to get 15-0. So then when I'm like playing the first 10, I'm just trying to get the guy to quit. And like, all I'm doing is trying to score, and then I'm losing the ball, they score. Trying to score so much that I'm ending up like in a tough game or I'm losing. And once you get to game 13, 14 or 15, you can sort of be like, right, I'm going to focus as hard as I can now because there's something on the line. But getting to that stage is so hard because I'm not focused. I'm just trying to get to the end goal without like taking it one step at a time. So like my sort of advice to a casual player would be to split it up, maybe play 3 sets of 5 or even 5 sets of 3, because I used to play Foot Champs in like 2019 and I was getting like, I'd be like 17-2 and then I'd end up like 19-11, and it's like, what's happened there? And it's like, I lose one game, my head's gone, I'm angry about the last game, but I want to get it done now, so I'm in the next game and then I'm losing because I'm angry. And it's like, the only time that happens now is like if I'm in a recording session and I lose and I'm like, oh, I'm like, I can't really stop. But if you sort of just playing for fun or trying to get a new high rank, if you lose, don't play again, because I know that you're angry, but you're still going to play again because you're going to take your anger out on the next game. It's not going to work. You're going to make mistakes, and it's just not worth it.
Matt, pausing the game. Are you pausing the game?
I'm pausing the game, mate. If I'm being honest, I'm pausing the game. I'm keeping the ball from the 82nd minute in a 1-0 type game. I'm using the griddy. I'm doing everything. Everything is a mental advantage. No, I'm joking. But no, just on the topic of that, one thing that I've done that has helped an enormous amount, and it's going to sound so petty, turn off celebrations. Because I've had that. I've had that. I'll be honest, Rich. I get annoyed. If I'm 1-0 up at 91st minute, Claudia Pina, she's griddying on me. I don't want to see that. So I turn it off, and now I just see my goalkeeper with his head in his hands. It makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
I celebrate every goal. Not even intentionally. This is me, right? I'm playing the game. Oh, double tap, scored. let me just press X.
It just so happens to be the griddy, doesn't it?
I don't even have the griddy. I don't have the griddy. All I do, I just press X, and then I'll let the celebration play out a little bit. I'm like, okay, defend the kickoff, and that's what I'm saying in my head as the celebration's happening. Defend the kickoff.
Okay,
and then
I get what you're saying though, because in a pro tournament, I will just press X, because then you don't get the same celebration every time. As you'll know, Rich, you'll get a different one, and that's why it's good, because then you can think, right, I need to defend the kickoff, which makes me know that you're actually trying in champs. Because for me, it's like, just skip, hurry up.
Oh, I'm locked. I'm locked in. I think I'm a pro level ball keeper. Like I don't think there's many people when it gets like 80th minute who are better at keeping the ball than I am. Like I am unbelievable. I've got every. I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. I know when to go to the goalkeeper. I know how much space there is between a fullback and a winger if I do go back to my own corner flag and hit a skill move and then recycle. Like I am
just
top level
just
at keeping the ball.
Don't tell me, Rich, that you're that guy that will like pop it up to his centre back and do a little cushion header.
I have been known to do that in the past. I have been known. But I will get messages all the time like, why are you celebrating? I'm like, sorry, did you pay for the game? Did you buy my game? I'll do whatever I want to do on the game. I've got to that age now where I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
there are some things that I look back on and I think, like the dab and the shush. How toxic was it really? It's annoying when it happens to you. Yeah. I'll just turn it off. Again, it doesn't annoy me that much anymore. But again, if it does, the option's there.
Yeah, but it's all like relative. Like if they took the griddy out, the worm would be the new toxic. Like there's always going to be one toxic thing, and it's like if not that, then the goggles one. Like there's always going to be something which is the most toxic. And when people do it to you, it's like, okay, that's going to make me angry because they're trying to be toxic. You know they are. That's the point of it.
See, that's the thing. There's no vigor with my celebration. I'm not intentionally doing it to get a reaction. I'm just celebrating, and then what will happen is. And I'm in the mind of my opponent straight away because then when they score, they got 1-0 up, don't celebrate, skip the celebration. I score, celebrate, don't even think about it. Then they intentionally will celebrate, watch the whole thing. And I'm like, I'm winning, I'm in your head already. Like, I'm winning this game. So, yeah, I mean, let us know. Are you celebrating? Are you playing that game or is it just a skip? Have you turned celebrations off? I actually don't think this game is inherently toxic at all. I think this year more than any other, I think it's less, being completely honest. I think people are... I don't think... It's weird. I think because champs rewards are quite bad, I actually don't think people care as much as they have previously about record and whatnot. Like, it feels... And I think because... they see streamers as well this year, not necessarily getting 12-3, 13-2. Like there's people out there who are going 8-7 and 7-8 in champs records. I think people feel probably a little bit better by what they're doing, so people are less sort of worried about their own record. I actually don't think the game is that toxic this year.
I would agree with that. I think the issue that we've got is that, I know EA at the start of the game before it was launched, they said, that difference between sort of like white knuckle gameplay, I think they said, where every single game matters, every game needs to be a win, you're playing for rewards every game. I still think there is that mentality a little bit. You look at Gauntlet now, objectives and rewards, probably the best in there. There's Silver League right now, you get like a 486 plus. For winning that. That's better than a lot of champs rewards you're getting. So I don't think there really is that mode. Let's not forget, if you want to play a mode where there's no rewards, you can go and play friendlies. But no one's doing it because you got no rewards in there. So I think, it's always going to be a tricky one. I don't think I've played many games this year where it feels like, outside of those gauntlet modes where you're forced to use a new team, those silver leagues, forced to use silvers. If I'm playing rivals, if I'm playing champs, a lot of them now, it is, okay, is it a 4-5-1? Is it Claudia Pina up top with a variation of Rafael Leao, Mbappe, Nico Williams on the wings? Like,
Diani, etc.
It is quite samey in that regard. And I think that just speaks to the fact that people are playing this game for rewards at the end of it still. And with that will always be a winning first mentality, and whether that's toxic or not, I'll let you decide.
Where do you sort of think we are in terms of the? I know we've gone a little bit off tangent here, but I always think these are the best sort of conversations when compared to previous years when we talk gameplay to rewards, and playing the game not necessarily to enjoy the gameplay experience, but just to get the most out of the rewards that are available. We had that in previous years with objectives. Like people would go in with really bad teams just to make sure they were ticking off objectives. For the sheer amount of stuff that we can do now, like if you go on the objectives tab, there is so much gameplay orientated content that you can do. Champs, rivals, rush, gauntlet, friendly, silver modes. Do you think that people are almost picking and choosing what they want to do, Matt, now, instead of trying to do everything?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've seen so many people, for rivals specifically, I see so many people on socials. I speak to a lot of people in Discord and things like that, also in the FUTBIN communities. But like, there are people now that are ditching rivals to focus on gauntlets and live events. Some now potentially even extending that to champs, because your 15 win or 15 games of champs, is that comparable to playing a couple of games of gauntlet every day throughout the week? There is that trade-off now. And again, yes, gauntlet live events, they don't give you those coin rewards. Rivals, champs, they're still the only places for that alongside squad battles.
Such a little coin reward, though.
It is. It really is. So, its time value is really coming into it now.
Matt, I think you're spot on, because I've not realised this, but I do. I've not really been playing Rivals this year. I'm a guy who always plays Rivals and Champs to get the coins up. Pro tournaments, you're losing coins every time because Peanut's 1.8 million on the Friday night or the Saturday morning, and as soon as everyone's switched, she's 1.3. You're like, it's just the same every time. And I haven't really played Rivals, but what I have done is I've played Gauntlet to get a cosmetic Evo, whether it's Cornerstones to get my player an extra chemistry link, or an Evo to add bruiser or whatever it is. Like, the Gauntlet's way better, but the thing about toxicity is the champs wars aren't good. Like, I do not come on and think I need to win. Last year for the icon, it's like I need to win, and I got Pele in like the second time I ever got 15-0, which was like a month and a half in. I was struggling, and like that was I was looking forward to every Friday. Like, this is my chance. Like, I can get an R9, I can get a Pele, I can get someone like that. And another thing is the ranking. How do I word that? The ranking for FUT champs, because you're no longer in a position where, I've got an extra game, I need to give away a free win. I'm not going to give it. I'm going to pretend to give it to them, and then I'm going to run it out for a goal kick and quit. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. Also, with EA sort of giving out the win earlier if an opponent quits with a red card or a penalty, that's really good. I just think in any instance, if someone pauses it and leaves the game, you should get the win. That's the one thing I can't understand. But it's definitely gone in the right direction, I think.
Yeah, I think there has to be some sort of worry that there'll be some sort of coin-making mechanic in that. I mean, we've seen it in the past in previous games over a decade ago where coin selling and whatnot was so rife. And I think EA with price ranges, and then they've always been quite tentative in making big adjustments where the coins are the reward of something.
Yep.
And I think it's really good what they've done with the disconnects, and they're slowly but surely making the distance smaller. But I don't think we'll ever get to the point where if you load into a game and quit in the first minute, your opponent gets the win. I find that it's going to be difficult.
I think so. Well, one thing that I will say, though, just on the topic of rewards and the rivals and champs sort of eligibility, we have got a new season coming next week, I believe it is, around sort of Black Friday time. It has been sort of rumoured, from the EA pitch notes, that we'll have these sort of big moments in which like the power curve will jump up. We've kind of seen that now with the packs in the store. We're now getting 280k packs, lightning rounds now. The sort of the players in packs
slowly ramping, isn't it?
It is
slowly ramping up.
It is from that aspect. Like, the icon SBCs that we're now getting. We're getting. I think that Peter Schmeichel was in there now in one of the player picks. Might be wrong with that, I can't remember, but we are starting to get those sort of big increases in SBCs, players in packs in the store. When are we going to start seeing the rewards scale a little bit?
Well, we have seen, speaking of champs, we're going to talk about this later, but this morning we did see, as of recording, new rewards in champs. They've changed basically the promo pack. So now for the upcoming champs, it's going to be the FC Pro Live pack that you're going to get. So that is coming. We're going to have FC Pro Live items coming out over this weekend. On next week's episode, we will... I don't know if it's worth maybe doing an extra time episode potentially to give the viewers and people a bit of intel on who to go and buy, because by the time we record the next episode, the first week of our gameplay will have finished. So maybe we can talk about that closer towards the weekend. But there will be live items associated to the players, and as those players play in real life at the Pro Tournament on Monday and Tuesday next week, those items will have the potential to get upgraded. Think road to the final, road to the knockouts, but with real players controlling FC Pro items. So I can't wait to see what happens, and you can see me there next Monday on the show, where I've probably invested a lot of coins into one particular player, and let's see if they can make me some money. But the promo that we're in right now, that released last week, is Festival of Football Captains. I'm not sure why this promo came out when it did. It feels, I'm going to be honest, it feels very gap fill. It's very, very top heavy. I mean, just looking at this top line here of players: Ronaldo, Van Dijk, Harry Kane, Mbappe. Why, Matt? I suppose the question that I've got to ask first.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you can just look at that top line and then compare it to the prices of like the second line and below. Yeah. It is, you've got the stuff at the top, maybe like 2 cards in the middle, maybe, and like Donnarumma, Szoboszlai, and Lewandowski, and then everything else is a lot lower.
Literally like 80k and lower.
Yeah, it just... It doesn't feel to me. Yeah, it doesn't feel to me like a promo that is going to realistically impact 95% plus of the community. You've either got those people sort of logging on for the first time that maybe, you know, get one of these promo cards, you know, in Champs Rewards for the first time, or you know, maybe they hit one of these in a pack, and then suddenly, yeah, it does make a team. But then for a lot of people that have established teams, they're not getting in, and those top end cards like Mbappe, Van Dijk,
unattainable.
CR7, yeah. Are you going to drop 2 million coins on a Van Dijk at centre back? That, you know, yes, it's obviously a good stat boost and a playstyle plus change, but it's 2 million coins on a centre back. How attainable is that for 99% of the community?
I just don't get the logic in releasing a too many, right? Who looks decent, and then there's an Evo for 100k, which can make the Evo too many better. So it's like, well, I just don't get it, to be honest.
There are a few decent players in here that I quite like the look of. I think Szoboszlai, we were talking earlier, RedLac about Ping Pass Plus being quite a strong play style. I think he's up there with sort of the Ji-Sung Park-esque player if he didn't do the SBC. Similar-ish price for this Szoboszlai. Obviously, doesn't give you hero links. I think Odegaard, he's not played a lot in real life. You don't know how many promo items he's going to get, so it's not a bad item, but it's not blowing you away by any stretch of the imagination. Van Dijk with a playstyle plus change from an intercept to anticipate. Again, we've already talked about it. Intercept probably slightly better playstyle at the current moment in the game. Harry Kane, he's already had a few different promo items. This one, good pace, but still we're not looking at 5-star weak foot, which probably just lets him down ever so slightly. Mbappe is just unattainable. No one's dropping 6.5 million coins on a Finesse Plus Mbappe. And then the rest of the promo, really, as we said, is just quite meh. Is there any of these like 87, 86 rated players, Matt, that are sort of worth even looking at? I know Bernardo Silva, there's a lot of City fans out there that were quite happy with this, but 200k?
Yeah. So... What I've been doing, Rich, if you go up and go to the list view and then do a little FUTBIN rating sorts, that's something that I've been looking at. And again, yeah, you mentioned Bernardo Silva, but again, it's a very sort of specialised role in maybe sort of like a half winger with that tiki-taka plus. Like, he can do that. Can't really play sort of any positions on the wing that require a bit more sort of pace and shooting ability. Like everything else is kind of, it's very specific roles that they're maybe excelling in that maybe aren't being utilized as much. And not really many players that are going to be sort of pushing that top end, I guess you could say. So it really is, for me, it feels like a filler promo. Not a lot of these guys are getting into top tens of roles without, the exception of obviously Mbappe, Van Dijk, Harry Kane. It's filler. It really is.
In terms of a pro perspective, RedLac, and for people out there who have got coins and wanting to pick up players, is there any of these players? Obviously Mbappe, but it's a lot of coins.
But I think it's just Mbappe because it's the 92. The fact you can't use him in a pro event right now might mean that no one can use him. He's 6.5, but maybe when everyone's like, hang on, we can buy Mbappe, he might rise in a way. But now you said it, I do think it's filler. Like, I've never heard of the promo before, and then it's like they've just got loads of like random players, and then like 3 big names or like 4 big names, and then just like pushed it out.
They do give chemistry. I think that's the only thing. I believe is it 3 chemistry points for nations that they are in.
But then that's another thing, Rich, where they're going to just bring out a cosmetic for it. So you can put your Evo, whether it's a left back, a right back, or a striker, you can put your Evo in to the cosmetic, whether it's 35,000 coins for the extra chemistry. You don't need to go and buy one of these players. Which I do like the cosmetic thing, the fact that they're bringing out the cosmetics that can give you an extra nation link or an extra club link. Like I said, I used it on Bar, which got him an extra Benfica link, which was the difference. That got him full chemistry. So I do really like the cosmetics, but I don't really like this promo, to be honest.
What do you think we can expect, Matt? Obviously, Black Friday's about a week and a half away. You mentioned it a little bit there before. We've started to see more SBCs coming out now. I want to touch on the regional sort of national SBCs that we've had, the upgrades. Do you think this is sort of a tease towards Black Friday? Are we going to get more of this style of SBC content, do you think? And what's your take on the regional SBCs that we've had this last week?
Yeah, so it was one thing, again, that EA announced in the launch pitch notes, wasn't it, Rich, that we were going to have these sort of advanced SBC style sort of releases throughout the year where we'd have themed SBC segments with multiple different SBCs you have to complete for a group reward. Obviously, you mentioned the regional ones. 3 out of the 4 are really good. I think it's the Europe one, which right now is it's just not worth it. We're talking sort of 130-ish K, I want to say, for that right now. Multiple 85 rated squads. The group reward isn't worth it, really, in my opinion, for that cost. It's a 35k pack. The packs that you're getting throughout the challenges, we're talking small Electrums, 84 plus player picks, prime Electrums, not crazy packs. Only a handful of them are tradable as well. And the player rewards, it's an 84 rated Benjamin Šeško. It's, we can talk about Evo potential as much as you want, but are you going to spend 135k on an 84 rated striker? I don't know. Annoyingly, the other 3 segments are probably a little bit better value. Sort of 20 to 30k on a lot of those. Great place to use all of your off-league gold, silvers that you might not be using in the league SBC grind. But yeah, you can only get that final. I think it's the Festival of Football Captains cosmetic that we mentioned that you can get as the final group reward as well in that. And you have to shell out a few 83, 84, 85 rated squads for that. So, yeah, I would say complete the cheap segments where you can. There's some good pack rewards in there, but I would probably be leaving the Europe.
I think there's been some forward steps since 2019 on the SBCs, but like a lot of backward steps as well. Like the league SBCs, I remember that Battaglia from Sporting. He was like in every pro team, 84 rated, I think he was. Amazing. Even the icons where you could sort of get a Rio Ferdinand, it was like 22 squads or something. But people were doing it. Like it was worth it. And then now it's like there's never any SBCs that are good. Maybe a Nick Pope. Like, yeah. But what if they brought out, I don't know. Imagine they brought out like a special Pino and it was like 30 squads. People would do it. Like it would, I
think the issue with that is we've seen it with the big player of the months.
Just unattainable.
Where are you getting the fodder now?
But the player of the months aren't like good. They're just like a +1, or not even a +1 these days. It's just the same card with like a worse playstyle. Here you go, 4 million coins, more than his actual market value. Why would you ever do that?
Yeah, I think the formula that seems to be obviously we look a lot at data and we look a lot at patterns, not only in gameplay, but also like from EA, what they're doing. The pattern is quite limited promos throughout the week, usually a hero or an icon upgrade. The Friday the promo drops, a good SBC. Whether in Scream we had Pogba, you look towards sort of the other promos that we've had. There's always been one SBC, the Cambiasso, that people complete somewhat on a mass scale. But during the week, there's nothing really that's worth going towards, in my opinion. It's worth waiting for the Friday. Obviously, we can talk. We don't know the promo items that are going to come out for this SBC. For the FC Pro Live campaign. We know it's coming. There's going to be 24 players associated to 24 items, so there's going to be 24 players in this promo. Usually, there's one or two that come through SBCs. In previous years, we had Van der Boomen, where PH Zin went on to win. That was in FC24. We had Hendricks last year that was associated to Manu Bachore, the Dutch centre-back. There will probably be at least one or two items in SBCs. I would imagine that one of those players would be associated to one of the quote-unquote big dog players, the bigger players in the FC Pro Live, FC Pro Open, sorry. That's probably going to be an SBC that's worth doing. And then we wait another week. And then I think we're going to see Black Friday where there's going to be 3 or 4 throughout a weekend, big SBCs. Maybe the first Icon SBC of the year. Maybe a big Hero SBC that's worth doing. I think that's where we're going to see it. But right now, throughout the week, there just doesn't feel like there's a lot to strive towards.
But it shouldn't be like that, though. Like, imagine that there's been like no special icons. I've had Zico in my team for 2 months now. Imagine they brought out, just an example, FC Pro Live. As a special occasion, instead of Anders getting an 84 rated, we're going to bring out any rating, 87 or let's say 94 rated Maldini with Anticipate. It's like 30 squads, and then in the week, I actually want to come onto the game, play Gauntlet to get all the fodder, play Squad Battles to get as much fodder as I can, play Rivals. I want to play all these things to get the fodder to do this amazing SBC. But like in the week, there's absolutely nothing. As you said, Rich, there's been a Cambiasso, there's been a Busquets, a Pogba. Yep. These have all been really good. But like once a week, really, like what am I meant to do for the rest of the week then? Because I don't want to play Rivals at the minute. I play Champs just because I sort of have to. And then I play Gauntlet for cosmetics. I don't even play it for the fodder packs. Like, I don't need fodder.
But is that not the formula, Matt? Like you play the week to get your fodder, and then you've got something to put it in on the Friday.
I think so, but what it feels like right now is that the players that they're offering are more Gauntlet players, if that makes sense. Like it's a second or third team option rather than that. Yeah, let's use Maldini as the example. That top tier centre back that's going to get in my main team for an extended period of time. It's always players that are kind of floating around that they might make your first team, but most of the time they're probably not. That Cambiasso, great example. Has he got in ahead of Jordi Alba for a lot of people?
No.
Probably not. You know, Jordi Alba, Busquets, they were kind of like the first SBCs that we had of that tier that have kind of stood the test of time of more than maybe a couple of weeks. So we're kind of waiting for that next step. I think Black Friday, as you say, Rich, will be that first sort of real, the next opportunity where we'll see players that will be in teams for a lot longer.
I think the one thing that we do have, and I'm just trying to pull it up now, obviously the season pass was sort of the big one, and there were a lot of people saying the season pass is where we're going to get those big items. I don't think we've necessarily had a huge player from the season pass yet. I can imagine that that's going to come somewhat soon. What is there, like just over a week left on the season pass right now?
Yep.
So I can imagine when Black Friday does roll around, I think we will get the content that maybe the mass public have been asking for. It feels very, as you said, second or third team sort of players at the moment. Let's jump into our final segment of the week. It's the one that you've all been waiting for. It is Hot or Not. RedLac is stepping into the seat. No theme song this week. We've had budget cuts. I'm going to give you 5 SBCs that released in the past 7 days, and all you need to tell me, are they hot or are they not? Should you complete them or should you not? We're going to start with Wendy Renard Flashback, coming in at 75k. Complete or not?
Probably not. I'm actually gonna get the item up now because hang on.
It was a quite positively received SBC. She got Anticipate Plus, quite tall for a female centre back. I think she's 6'2". But as we said earlier, height it is important, but less important this year than it has previously. So are we saying not RedLac?
It's close. I'm going to say no because I think for a casual player, you're not going to have loads of fodder to sort of waste and try her out. She doesn't seem like she's too fast. She hasn't got intercept. Like you said, Rich, height isn't a thing like really anymore. So she's actually taller than Marquinhos. So it's not sort of that's the issue. Maybe the pace and no intercept would be, but she looks okay. Like if you have spare fodder, I wouldn't mind it. I'll say no, but I wouldn't be against that one.
Coming in next, the Max 89 Icon upgrade. Coming in at 215k.
I don't believe in these SBCs where you sort of pray in to get lucky. I don't believe in them at all. Why would you like spend your hard-earned fodder to just get the worst icon? No, but I do get the appeal. I get the appeal, guys. But it's like, why would you do that when you can just wait and get like a really good player that gets into your team next week, for example? Like, it's just a waste.
Because we love the gamble.
Yeah.
I got Figo in mine.
I got Makalele.
But that's what I mean.
Hey, Figo goes straight into the team. Off the right, technical plus.
And Makalele goes straight into my third gauntlet squad. So, you know, it's cracking.
Up next, speaking of off the right, Angel Di Maria flashback, 78k. Technical plus. Decent player. Complete or not.
I'm VAR in it again. That reminds me of that flashback message from the other year. Like, yeah, you might be good for like a week, and then he's just going to get pushed out of the team. I'm going to say not, even though he looks okay again. But like, no, I wouldn't say so.
Guillier Gwyn, captains, 85k.
Gwyn, here we go. No, absolutely not.
We're 0 for 4 this week. And finally, base icon matchday pick, Figo, Robin Van Persie, or Sol Campbell, 305k.
Absolutely not. What? That is even worse than the gamble. Whoa, there's no one good in it.
Sol
What's
Campbell?
the point? No. Thing is, Rich, I feel like because I'm a pro, like my idea of SBCs is like very niche and small. Like I would say do Pope, do Cambiasso, do Busquets. Like I even did Pogba, but I kind of regret that. But I understand why you would do Pogba. It's like I only do the ones that are like actually good. The price doesn't really matter, I guess, for them.
Well, with 0 for 5 on hot or not, it is certainly a cold week this week. There is nothing hot about the SBCs. Matt, did you sort of fancy any of the SBCs this week?
No.
Okay.
It was the only one would have been maybe the Max 89, but again, it's only good if you get something good. So it's.
I actually completed 2 of the 5 SBCs that we just talked about there.
Okay.
I did the Max 89 icon upgrade, and I also, just because he was my first ever team of the year that I packed, I did Di Maria. I've just got a sentimental value to Angel Di Maria. I think out of all the SBCs, I think he's got also the most potential. I know we often talk about Evo potential and what's coming down the line, and obviously we don't know, but I seem to have, in previous years, always been caught by not doing a player or not doing an SBC. He is coming in as the 13th best right mid winger, 12th best wide playmaker on the FUTBIN rating. It's not an awful item, I'll be honest, but it just doesn't excite a lot of people. I think that's the best way to say it.
I get that if you've got no coins and you've got fodder and you want a right mid that's left-footed and something different from Nico Williams, then I 100% agree with it. One player you didn't mention was the Sorloff. I didn't do him. However, I should have. I just forgot because I was playing the Pro Tournament. But he did look hot, and I would have given him a hot, definitely.
Well, there you go. The promo, not great. The SBCs for the week, not blowing us socks off, but we do have a lot to look forward to. Let us know your thoughts on everything FC26 down below. We've got a big week coming up with, over the next 10 days, we've got a brand new promo in FC Pro Live. We have got the what should be fairly quick upgrades on some of these players, with both Groups A and B playing next week on Monday and Tuesday. It's a double header, so there's going to be at least 12 players potentially getting upgraded over the next week. We've then got Black Friday to look forward to. It's going to be a very, very busy week, and we'll be here, Matt, for it all. I'm hearing rumours of potentially an emergency episode next maybe Friday or Saturday for Black Friday. That's on the grapevine. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm there, Rich. I mean, we got a busy week this week. We're going on a bit of a road trip, aren't we? I'm sure we'll record some content for that. Might be a little award in the offing, but we'll see. So yeah, it's busy times here, Rich. We're here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like we are officially sort of kicking off now. I think we had the launch, and then there were a couple of weeks of the content not being great, and I think the gameplay constantly changing. But it feels like we're cemented now, and hopefully as we build up towards the festive period, Black Friday quickly followed by a Winter Wildcard promo. We are officially underway. RedLac, thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can people find more of your content, gameplay tips, and tricks if they want to?
Yes, thank you very much for having me, Rich and Matt. Well, the issue is I've got a different handle on everything. I've got Alfie Calder on Instagram, my name. I've got @AC_RedLac on Twitter or X, and I've got RedLac on YouTube. So it's different everywhere, but I'd recommend the YouTube channel. You've got all different tutorials on the shorts. You've got some long-form videos, challenges. But yeah, thank you very much for having me, guys.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you potentially later this week, depending on what the Friday promo is offering. But if not, definitely next week for a double header, FC Pro Live and Black Friday in the next week or so. Good luck in your champs and your rewards, and we will see you next week for another FUTBIN pod.